Lot going on here at the club.
About possibility of generational wealth and for your kids, grandkids, and their
And it's exciting because it gives us some financial hope.
Good morning. I'm Janet Gatewood here with Todd Gatewood.
Good morning, live from El Salvador, guys.
We are God, Freedom, and Bitcoin, and it's quite a day. Before we start, we want to show you the beauty of this world. Look at this view of the volcano here in El Salvador. As we landed yesterday, our CEO, Dr. Jay Bose, picked us up and shared the news that Charlie Kirk had been shot. And while we were driving, we found out that he had passed. And today is September 11th, which is such an emotional day for our nation and our world. September 10th is now the same. It is an unbelievable loss and tragedy of a man who courageously shared his Christian faith to the youth of this country, because the far left have been trying to indoctrinate our youth against morals, against faith, against family, against freedom. And he has gone respectfully and had one-on-one conversations. All you have to do is go online and you can see one after another, and him sharing that. And he lost his life. He was murdered in the public setting, in the middle of with his family there, with the nation watching. And it's hard not to be emotional.
Very hard. And the thing about it, when we got off the plane yesterday, we had such hope and vigor and just excitement to be here on the ground in El Salvador for what we're doing here. And to hear that news, I mean, Jay was talking to us and we were stunned. And I mean, I told him, I said, Jay, I'm literally in shock. I cannot believe this young man who led a life of Christ. I wished I could be half the man that Charlie Kirk was, to be honest with you. And so I was stunned, and still am stunned, and the nation's stunned. And here we are right at the back of September 11th, and then, have this happen. So, I mean, to me, there needs to be a national holiday for that alone, just for the simple fact that the man was a good, God-fearing man, and he just simply was preaching the truth. And people that didn't like what he was talking about decided, hey, we're just going to take him out because, he's getting too close to the truth. And when people get close to the truth and you can't beat a person in the debate field, they decide we're going to have to take him out. He's just too much of a problem. We can't shut him up. So we're going to shut him up by taking his life. And that's basically what's happened. And it's sad, totally sad.
As Dr. Jay Bose said this morning, this young man could have been our president. He had the youth, and his company, Turning Point USA, his actually 501(c), which we have linked under this video. They have reached across 3,500 campuses across this nation. And the media has painted it in such a negative light. And I personally hold that liberal media responsible. They put a target on his back. We're sitting here. It takes courage. We don't have the following that Charlie had, but we're here as Christians. God, freedom, and Bitcoin for our faith, our family, our nation. Are they going to come after everyone? This is a war now on our soil. Even the same day yesterday, 2 students were murdered in Colorado at a school. I mean, it's what has our country become, right? We need to take it back. And that's why we're here. And that's why our community is here. And that's why we're building this grassroots effort, because we believe in our nation. We believe in the people. We believe most of the people here want good. We know that so much has been stirred up in the media, so much negativity, so much anger, because it's the whole communist playbook. If you make the people fight, divide them against each other, they don't see what's happening at the top, and they don't see what's going on. That's how you bring down the country. And so that's what they've done. They've been dividing the nation. Yet when we were at our club, people walk in, they are every age, every race, every nationality, and they even have differing political views. But you know what? They all believe in freedom. They all come together, and it's beautiful, which is what our nation is beautiful. And on this day, we are going to honor not only all of our fallen heroes from 9/11, we also honor Charlie Kirk, his beautiful wife, Erica, their 2 children, their entire family, his entire organization. Think about how many people are close to him and how desperately in pain they all are today at the loss of this amazing, courageous leader. And even I think, Ben, we had at our club in Massachusetts yesterday, we actually had a Turning Point event scheduled. Ed Albert in our Massachusetts club had that, but they had to cancel it. Like, we believe in this cause. I think Ben was going to be, I think Charlie and Ben were going to do an interview in about a month here. And so he just poured his life into this mission. And there was a quote on one of his accounts that said, what did it say? It said, God, family, country, period. That is all. And that's amazing. So that's why we're here. And we are here in El Salvador today. We're here for a very exciting purpose, but very somber as we come in. But we are not going to back down. We are not going to stop pursuing the cause of freedom. We are not going to stop telling you that we believe in Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. And we believe in freedom of faith. We believe in our freedom in our nation. And we believe that we also want people to be free monetarily. And that's why we're here with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency.
Totally. And that's the thing, guys. Even though it's a somber day, we have to look towards the future. And what we can do as average, everyday citizens to make this a better place, guys. I mean, we're in a fight for a lifetime, and it's a spiritual battle. I've known this for a while, and Janet's known this. And I think a lot of you that are in this space know this. This is a spiritual battle. This is good versus evil. There's no middle ground. This is what it is. The line, like Jay was saying today in his podcast, this is the line being drawn in the sand. This is us saying, you know what? Enough of this debauchery and foolishness that you're pulling. This is serious stuff we're dealing with. You're talking about taking a man's life who was a good man. I mean, this is no different than when Jesus Christ was crucified on the cross. Same situation with Charlie Kirk. I'm not saying he's Jesus Christ, but I'm telling you what, the man lived the word. So we've got to fight this. We've got to tell these people, no, Satan's children, we're not playing with you. Enough of this mess. We're going to have to stand up, guys. We've got to do this for our kids and future generations. I think God gives us chances for reasons. He's given me plenty of chances, many undeserved, but he's given me chances, and he's given us this platform to talk about this stuff and let everyone know that there's more of us than there are them. They're bullies. They're nothing but a bunch of bullies who are deranged, and we're going to have to put our foot down. We literally have to fight this. This is our fight to fight, guys.
I think the bully thing is the thing that it keeps a lot of people from saying things, because there's this vicious attack that happens. And I put a post on my personal page on Facebook yesterday, and I thought, let's see how long it takes for someone to come in and be negative. It didn't take but a couple of minutes. And it's that bully mentality of, well, why didn't you post about this? And why didn't you post about that? And I'm like, no. You know what? Don't take away from what just happened. This young man, he was murdered in the public setting in front of everyone, live on TV. But I will say, and Bill here in our chat right now, I'm going to put this up, and he's right. Charlie Kirk's message is stronger than ever. What they did is the line is drawn. You either are for freedom and for our nation and are for decency and morality. Murdering people in the street, good people. He wasn't divisive like they said. He was honest, and he was fair, and he was patient, and he was slaughtered for it. We cannot stand for that. And so we're not going to be quiet. And I'm thinking that they're going to, this is our Martin Luther King Jr. This is for our JFK moment. It's such a tragedy.
Well, and you look at this is history repeating itself, guys. Back in the 1960s, you had Martin Luther King. You had, I guess at first it was John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King, and then Bobby Kennedy. So that's what's happening, guys. This is just a repeat of history all over again. It's like when you get close to the truth and you get ready to expose people, this is what happens. They send out their little patsies in these agencies, which I will not say, to take care of people who are too close to the truth.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening right now, guys. History is truly repeating itself.
This was a professional hit. You can tell. And we saw this, we talked about this morning. There is an airplane that took off and then it went off the radar, for 30 minutes or something like that. And then came back on, like from that site. Like they're going to be looking into it and checking into everything. But it's just unbelievable tragedy. So we just want to let the entire Kirk family and the entire Turning Point USA family know that our thoughts and prayers are with you in the coming days and weeks and years, because what he has done has changed lives, has changed our nation. It's changed our fortitude and our fight. And we're not going to back down. And we need to be vigilant. We also need to be smart and protect our loved ones, but we don't want to be bullied out of it. And that's what this kind of thing does. It's to say, hey, you speak up for your faith, you speak up for your country, we're going to take you out. Like, that's terrifying, right? But we are on the front lines. This is a war. It's a war at home. So we need to step up.
We do. And we need to remember that we're doing this stuff, not only for ourselves, we're doing it for God first, of course, but also for Charlie Kirk and what he built. You know, we don't need to give up just because they've done this to this fine young man. We need to go out there and fight the fight for him and be something that he was expecting. He knows this country's great. He knows that there's good people in this world. And it's not just America, it's the whole world. We're in El Salvador. You talk about the kindest spirited people you've ever met in your life. You hear all this negativity about El Salvador. Let me tell you, folks, this is the third time that Janet and I have been down here, and it is amazing and continues to improve. We had a young man down at the restaurant we were eating at today for breakfast, and he's learning English and stuff. And I told him, I said, hey man, your English is way better than mine. And it was just amazing. He was just a light, and we had a good conversation and was telling him what we're down here doing and what we're here for. And he was super excited. And that's the thing, guys, is like, we're all closer to one another than what the enemy wants you to think we are. None of us are different. We're all the same. We're created in God's image. And it's an honor to be here and carrying this legacy on that Charlie Kirk and many others before him that have laid their life down unknowingly to keep this going.
One of the brief interviews I saw yesterday, I was watching last night with Charlie Kirk. He said, there's a reason in the Bible it says be salt and light, because when they enter the room, when they enter the space, they change it. They make it better. Salt enhances, light brightens. We are to be salt and light. And so let's carry that mission and carry our faith and love one another and encourage and grow this country and take his message and continue it. So here we are in El Salvador. I'm going to show you all this again because not everyone was on the chat. Look at this. So this is a view from our window. Look at that gorgeous, gorgeous volcano. And we are here for something very special. Todd, what does your hat say?
Well, it says Private Key Capital. And part of what we're doing down here is we're spreading freedom, monetary freedom. And so tonight is a very important vote for Ben and for Jay. And we're going to start to take back our sovereign rights from these evildoers. And it starts with your monetary system. And so stay tuned for that. We will go into more details later. But this is just kind of a little bit of something we got going on down here, guys, just to let you know.
We're really grateful. We love the people of El Salvador. As we landed, when we found this news out, honestly, we were all relieved we were here. That's scary to think that Ben and Jay and Todd and I, we were all just grateful to be on the ground in El Salvador and wondering, what does this mean next? And what this means is we do continue. So we are so excited. Private Key Capital is the first fully Bitcoin-backed financial institution in the world. You'll be able to do everything that you can do on your current banking or credit union apps, from checking account to savings account to credit and debit cards to Bitcoin-backed loans for your homes, for your cars, for whatever you need. Your Bitcoin is your asset. You can earn 4% interest on your Bitcoin, and there will be mining opportunities. All of this is coming. We'll be unfolding this in the U.S. Our home base for the credit union will be West Palm Beach, just a mile and a half from Mar-a-Lago. And we're just thrilled to death. You can go to bitcoinbin.io. There is a page on Private Key Capital that talks a little bit about it, and join that list. And then we will be rolling out more information on that. But it is a beautiful country and beautiful people, delicious food. And it's the raining season, but it hasn't rained on us yet.
You talk about a blessing. We were expecting to come into monsoons, and it's been beautiful. I think there might have been a
Yeah.
storm last night, but we never saw it. We were in bed by then. So, we might have a good weather the whole time here. So we're thankful for that.
I think the theme that I keep feeling in my heart is courage. It took a lot of courage for President Bukele to do what he did, to take this country back, to free it. Like, we feel so safe here. Feel safer here than a lot of the U.S. cities. But we know that President Trump is starting to bring some law and order back into our nation after yesterday absolutely does. 9/11, the horrific things with 9/11. You know what's interesting? Obviously, everyone knows all the conspiracies now, which a lot of those are now true, have come to light as truth. We were going through TSA. We didn't have to take our shoes off. We didn't have to take things out of our bags. Like, there have been all these control mechanisms that have crushed our freedoms. None of that was necessary. So how did we just get to walk through yesterday when normally you have to put your liquids in a bag and you have to have your shoes off and you have to take everything out? Like, it's not necessary, right? But they put us through all of these drills. It's this conditioning thing.
Exactly. It is conditioning. And that's the thing, guys. It's the small things that you think is there for your safety and stuff. It's really not for your safety. It's about trying to get you in the mindset of, we can control these people. Let's start here and work our way down. It's basically right out of the Communist Manifesto, whether it's Mao Zedong, Joseph Stalin, all the little despots out there that have been through history. They do these type of mechanisms and stuff. Mao Zedong, just a brief history, Mao Zedong took the arts people and told them that he was going to take care of them. We're going to build a utopia and stuff like that. Well, guess what happened? Once he got them controlled, he killed them all. So the people who, with all the ideas and the great things that they thought they could do for their country and stuff, he just simply murdered them once the useful idiots were done with. And that's how this is where this leads to, guys, is this is why you have to stand up, because, you give your freedom up for safety and you end up losing your freedom. And it's that simple.
You need to learn our history. They need to teach our history. That one of the tenets, wasn't it Ayers that did that, where if you deal with the education, you control what they're being fed in the schools, you can turn the country within one generation. And that's what's happened. Families are broken. Men think they're women. Women think they're men. People don't want to have children. I mean, you're going to crush the whole country if your birth rate drops. And so it's just really, we've got to take our country back. And I think that there are a lot of positive things happening. I think that's why we're here.
It is.
We never saw ourselves here. I never would even put myself on a video for real estate. I'm a realtor because I just didn't want to do it. This is different. Like, this is our children's future, our grandchildren's, our nation. This is the cause for Christ. We see Christianity being crushed around the world right now. We see there are other religions coming in, and then we see them destroying and murdering Christians. And so we have to stand strong, and we have to be vigilant, and we have to pray. We know there is power in prayer. We know there's power in our communities. Tolerance, though, being tolerant of being bullied and tolerant of the left is getting people like Charlie murdered. Like, so how do we not create violence but not be tolerant? How do you do it? It's how do you do it, right? And he was trying to go one person at a time. He would be on the microphone with someone who completely different beliefs, but they were calmly having discourse back and forth. That's how it's supposed to be. It's a free country. Like, in the old days, our senators and congressmen would debate in Washington, then they'd go have dinner, but they'd have healthy debate. And now it's, if you disagree with them, you are horrible. You're just slaughtered on social media and of course in person. Everything. The attacks are horrific.
And really and truly, it's about social media. Social media has caused that, because I'll be honest with you, your phones, computers, everything else, guys, what it's done is it's allowed people to have a sense of entitlement and be able to belittle and berate people without having actual dialect or discourse and stuff like. And it's amazing to sit there and watch it, because you realize that if it weren't for the phones, and it weren't for our computers, and it weren't for people trying to get their 15 minutes of fame at the expense of others and trying to bring them down, we wouldn't be in this situation. So my thing for everybody out there is to go out there, talk to your neighbor, talk to friends, be engaged with people, look them in the eye, have good, honest conversations with your neighbors and stuff, and get out in your communities and make the world a better place. And you can, because everybody that I've met are wonderful people. And because of y'all, this is why this movement that's going on in the Bitcoin community and just our communities in general, it's because of everyday people. It's not because of some politician in Washington, D.C. It's not. They've got their use, but really and truly, you guys have the power to affect change.
Michael Saylor posted that he believed in freedom and he believed in us. And he did. And one of the things that I think is so disturbing, it is the celebration coming from people over his death. That's evil. That's pure evil. And we need to call it out. What was it? TMZ was live streaming. And when all the employees, when they got the news that Charlie Kirk had passed and it hadn't been announced, there was a cheering going on, cheering. TMZ, shame on you. All those people, shame. You're cheering the murder of a man in front of his family in a public setting, a man who was fighting for our nation, who was fighting for his faith. You don't have to agree with his faith, but to celebrate that type of horrific murder. So, anyone listening, anything you see, when you see evil, call it what it is. Do not tolerate evil anymore. Call it what it is and don't entertain it. I don't want us to go have dinner with an evil person that's sitting there espousing all of that. We're not going to do it. We want to spread love and hope and have an honest discussion. And in spreading hope, that is where Bitcoin comes back in, because we have been controlled in our monetary system and we are trying to free people from that. Because imagine if you were financially free, how you could go out and help. You could go out to universities. You could actually take time to see what's going on in our nation and go, I don't agree with that. I also want to do a shout out to all of the parents that go to these meetings, these is it PTA meetings, all these school board meetings, and they stand up to fight for their children. They have been blacklisted. They have been horrible things through social media, but they've been courageous because they said, I'm counting. They're there for their children, for other people's children, to not have all of the junk in the books. And that's what homeschooling's taken off, because these are our children. And you've got this nanny state trying to say they can decide what you get taught, or some teacher saying, I know better than you, the parent. No. The parents need their rights back. Our parents need to stay strong and vigilant. And just a shout out to every parent that's taken a stand that has seemed unpopular, that has caused attack. Because I tell you what, every time I have voiced my opinion, which it's taken me years to really be strong on Facebook, and I'm still, because of the bullying, I'm sensitive, right? And so it's not any fun to have it. But every time I have, people have come back and they've gone, I agree. So we need to all step up and be leaders for what's true, for what's right, for morality, and for what our Constitution stands for our freedoms, and be friendly with your neighbor. It is neighbor to neighbor, like you said. Yeah,
and as parents and as adults and human beings, we all have more power than we really realize. And I don't mean that from a dictatorial state. I mean that from a state of when you're speaking from truth, coming from truth. You have more power than you really imagine. And that was given to us by God. He's given us that ability to speak up and stand up for what's right. And that's why we're all here, guys. We're here to fight for what's right. And you don't have to be in a fist fight with these people or anything like that, but you can firmly tell them you are wrong, and your place in history will show that. So don't be afraid to stand up and say something. Don't get into large arguments with them, because you can't reason with idiots. And I'm just going to put it like it is. They're idiots. And you can't reason with people like that. You have to pretty much just make your statement, leave the stage, because you're not going to be able to reason with people who are mentally incompetent, literally.
I think that's the hardest part, is because I think a lot of the media and the social media is really broken people. And so they are, as you use the word idiot, they've believed the propaganda, and they haven't taken time to really research what they've been fed to see if it's truth. That's what we've done, is we've researched. So if you disagree with us, go look at the left, the right, go research it and look at what you've been taught, and then look at it from another perspective. And that's open your mind, because we have been fed. The whole country's been fed. We don't watch mainstream news anymore. We don't. When we turn it on, we can see the slant. We can see the slant away from good. We can see the slant against our sitting President Trump here. We can see the slant. Even Charlie Kirk, they put a target on his back a couple of months ago. One of the organizations, was it? Do you remember who it was?
I don't remember who it was, but yes, I don't even want to give him notoriety.
They painted a horrible, horrible picture. And so think about what you take in and what you're seeing. And then if it's wrong, call it out what it is. And, but I want to go back 9/11. We're here on 9/11. And where were you on 9/11?
I was at my old job, and we heard the news, and it was just like, it was sort of like what it was here in Charlie Kirk being killed yesterday. You felt just hollow, like what in the world just happened? And you're sitting there trying to get the news up and everything and find out. And it was just like, it was almost like you lost a part of your soul that day. And it felt that way with Charlie just because of the good man he was. And so for 9/11, it was just really, really tough. And we couldn't concentrate on our jobs. Everybody was talking about it. They were coming in, our customers and everything. And everybody was just in stunned, they just didn't know what to say. Basically you're just blank.
It's those moments. I had a 3-week-old daughter, and I was in the bed holding her when it came on the TV. And the first time you think it's just an accident, and you realize we're under attack, and it's so scary. And here I am with my child thinking, what's her future going to be? And I think about that for Charlie's children. What's their future going to be? And what are you doing today, listening to help the babies today, what their future will be? Have our country still stand, have our currency be strong, have our families be strong again. But it was, and it's so many lives lost, so many young lives lost on 9/11, so many rights taken away from us with the Patriot Act. There's so many wrongs that have been done over the years. But what I'm grateful for X. I'm grateful for not being censored. I'm grateful for Bitcoin Ben, who has been courageous for many years, saying the thing that is not popular, but true. And as truth comes out, you see that he has led a cause for freedom in financial and in our world. And so that's, there's a large community now that are saying, yes, we see that now, and we're with you. And so I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for all of our first responders, not only on 9/11, but who respond every day. Every first responder, every police officer. We know in every organization there are a few, because you see the news stories, but they lay their lives on the line. Like, so we live south of Nashville, Tennessee. I mean, we're short, I believe, 400 police officers
in Metro
Nashville.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to even get first responders and police officers because of the climate, and media has painted such a negative climate. You go from heroes to this negativity going on. And so we really need to build back our country, our police force. Thankful to all the medics that show up. They have a very tough job. Our nurses have such a tough job in the hospitals. And people aren't even kind to them sometimes. Like, it's really, our society, I think, has become less kind, less respectful, less patient, less gracious. Like, it's become this me, entitled type of thing. We need to bring it back. And that's where person to person comes into play, and relationships, and being cordial and having manners. Like, everyone down here is so mannerly.
They are.
El Salvador is just, the people are wonderful.
You can
the place is wonderful.
You can definitely see love in the heart.
We're
sure.
very, very proud to be partnering with businesses down here, and grateful we can travel down here and feel very comfortable. Like, the first time I came, I was afraid to wear jewelry. I'd read all the stories. I'm like, don't wear your jewelry. Don't, it's very, very dangerous. The media had all these negative stories. We landed. Oh my goodness. We were fine. And we enjoyed it, and we came back, and never a problem. And so it's actually much safer, I think, than like Detroit and Chicago and
Memphis, even Nashville, for that matter. So yeah. Los Angeles, everything.
We have our chat open. We'll be on just a little bit longer. Our classes start in the clubs in, I think, 30 minutes. We're an hour, I guess, earlier than the club schedule. So what we're talking about, so we're with the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club Nashville, and we have 6 of these clubs. And what we have are live classes twice a week to teach people, like, what is Bitcoin, how to store it, wallets, all those different things. And they're live, which is really nice. You can ask any question you want. So if you are looking for more information, education, go to bitcoinben.io, choose one of the 6 clubs there, join and be a part of our classes. You'll have an access to probably like 95 classes now that we've done. And then we have a lot of programs that we're putting in place for our club members. Private Key Capital is one of those. To be a member of our Bitcoin credit union, you'll have to be a member of one of the clubs to be a member of Private Key Capital. We are trying to bring all of these different things to our club members. We have mining pools. We have confidential bulk purchase programs. If you want to buy some Bitcoin, you can wire us, or you can put in your credit card, $5,000 or more, and we do a bulk purchase program every week, and it'll hit your wallet a few days later. There are beef and Bitcoin, clean beef. Like, as we try to protect our nation, we also need to protect our food supply, because that even affects people's thinking. When you have all this junk and these poisons in the food supply and sugar everywhere, and that keys up people's ADD and anxiety, we need cleaner food. So we work with the Beef Initiative, and we have beef, Texas Slim.
Yes.
And so it's non-mRNA beef and clean beef, and we love our ranchers in Texas. And so it's very, very exciting what's going on there. We shout out to Texas Slim, because he has led a charge just like Bitcoin Ben. These guys have stepped away from their life and gone out and sacrificed so much to help save. Texas Slim's been trying to save our ranchers. Bitcoin Ben's been trying to save the people as far as their monetary and their everyday and their wealth and generational wealth. And if we can empower the everyday person that loves our country and wants to preserve freedom of faith, they need the monetary resource to do it so they can go out and support it. And so if we can strengthen our people, we can strengthen our country. It starts at the grassroots level. And we also need to get some of these judges out that are not looking at the Constitution. Like, there's so many areas that need help, but we have a lot of courageous patriots like Charlie Kirk that have stepped into that light and brought light to us and to our nation to try to make everything better. And he paid the ultimate price. He put his life on the line, and his family did too. And we just want to thank him so much for all that he has done for our country and everyone in his organization. And
Wow. I don't know how to follow that up, actually, because that's just eloquent in all it said. But yeah, this is a generational fight, guys, and we're very fortunate, because this could be a kinetic war, but it's not. It's actually a digital war. And under normal circumstances, whether it was World War I, World War II, the Civil War, any war in history has been a fight, good versus evil, but it's been perpetuated by evil people. Yeah. And this is our way of digitally fighting a war without. Unfortunately, you've got bloodshed with Charlie and stuff, and you don't ever want that. But I mean, it could be millions upon millions of citizens in a world war right now. And what we have to do is love one another and be there and have good dialect and conversations, and not let these politicians in all these countries, these corrupt politicians and judges, and it all works its way down, because it's all one big group. And they're out for the destruction of humanity and mankind. And we've got to be here for the fight, but we've got to do it right. We've got to do it with a religious fervor, and we've got to fight hard, but in a good, steady way that doesn't incite violence in any way.
Yeah. Guys, life is beautiful. Look at this. I'm going to do this again. Look how beautiful just that is here in El Salvador. There's beauty everywhere you look. Look for it. It's there. It's in the people. It's in a handshake, in a hug, in a smile, in a servant heart doing something, in standing up against tyranny, against evil. There's beauty in all of that. And so I think that Charlie Kirk would want us to continue his mission, and to be brave and bold, and to not be bullied, and to not back down, and to call it out what it is. But he was not a violent person. He really tried to take it to the people and have that calm discourse. We need to encourage that, but we need to shut down those that don't want to do it. And that, I really think that goes back to the funding. I think we need to cut the funding that funds these liberal media platforms. And
yes,
you've got to stop that. If you stop the source, they'll stop putting all this stuff out there. They'll start driving this. And I know that negativity sells. And so to be constantly doing a positive news program on these channels, that doesn't sell. It's not as exciting, right? But who cares? But follow the money. Stop that money pouring in to the left to dividing our country, because there's a greater evil going on. It's not coming from our communities and our families. It's coming from outside. I think outside our country. I think it's in our country, but I think it's coming outside to break us up and to divide us. And so we need to pray against that and be vigilant about it, and support those that are leading that cause as well.
Well, and quite frankly, there needs to be repercussions for bad behavior. And if that means eliminating someone's job for cheering on someone's death or whatever, I've got no problem with that. I'll be honest with you. Why fund people who are literally inciting violence in our country and stuff. Why should they have a platform? Why should they be paid millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars to do that, to destroy our country and quite frankly, destroy civil society, which, a lot of that could be considered a falsehood at this point. Is society really civil? I would say no at this point, but that doesn't mean we can't get it back. And, with God's blessings, we can get it back, but it's going to take a concerted and united effort to make that thing happen. And we're going to have to do the right things. We're going to have to fight the good fight, but fight it on good terms and not in a barbaric way, if you will. But in the meantime, you've got to also protect your family too. So you can read between those lines with what I'm talking about. So, just be aware, keep your head on a swivel, learn to protect yourself, your home, and your surroundings, and get with your local areas and stuff like that, and with people who are like-minded patriots who care about where we're heading, what direction we're heading, and make this thing where you protect one another. You become kind of a clan, if you will. Your family, you've got family outside of your normal family. You're talking about fellow patriots who love their country, want to do something to protect it and build our countries up and build our world up and help one another, love one another. And that's really, what I would say would be the best thing you can do is to love one another.
Yeah. Evil hates light.
Yes.
It hates light. And we need to spend more time, we need to spend more time in the Word, more time in Scripture, more time with God, more time in prayer. When you think about it, when they train, as FVRCA, when they train them to spot counterfeit money, they don't train them if here's all the counterfeit money. They train them to know the pure, our dollar bill, which we love Bitcoin, but they train them to know exactly what the real thing looks like head to toe. So then it's so much easier to spot a counterfeit. We need to know what the real thing looks like. Spend more time with Christ, spend more time in the Bible, spend more time in prayer. You will be able to see evil, because a lot of times evil's dressed up saying it's good. But when you know the truth and when your heart's in the right place and you're walking with Christ, you will recognize that and you will see it and you can call it out. And so we will continue to be praying for our nation, for the Kirk family, for all of our 9/11 heroes, for each person in your own family, you're a hero fighting for what's right. God bless all of the Kirk family. We just pray for blessings on everyone. It's been a real emotional, not even 24 hours.
Oh gosh, it's been hard to even comprehend everything, to be honest with you guys. I just, what do you do when you get news, when you land in El Salvador and you're seeing this grand beauty that we're dealing with? This, look at this.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just amazing,
so
guys,
beautiful.
To sit back and have to comprehend what went on in the U.S. as we were landing here in El Salvador. Of course, your phones are on airplane mode. You don't have information or anything like that. So we're sitting there, and then we hit there, and then Jay picks us up, and we get the news of Charlie Kirk's, murder. I'm gonna call it what it is, a murder. And you're sitting there just trying to fathom that. And, on the 25-minute ride to our, place where we're staying, to hear that. And it's just like, I can't comprehend something like that. I mean, I'm still stunned. Honestly, I'm still stunned. And I know Janet is too. You can tell from the emotion of our broadcast here that we're still trying to process all that's going on within our country and our world, guys. And it's just hard. It's a lot to process.
It is. Just thank you all who are in the chat. Manny, hi to you too, and God's blessings to you. Lena, Bill, Matt, John. We have so many wonderful people here in our chat today. And thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening today. And watch for more announcements, because this is going to be a very exciting night for Private Key Capital.
Yep. Look forward to having another broadcast and kind of telling you what went on. And Janet, of course, being our marketing director, she's going to have some awesome pictures from the ground here, and look forward to live streaming with you guys and actually showing stuff on our socials. Should be a lot to see and fun.
So blessings to all of you. Thank you for joining us today. Go to bitcoinbend.io for more information on any of the programs that we've talked about. And thank you so much to Charlie Kirk for what you've done for our nation, for our youth, for our families. You gave your life for Christ. You did. You were on a platform and you were taken down, and we so grateful for you
and your family.
and for your family for their sacrifice. So thank you all. Blessings to everyone.
Take care,
Have a
everyone.
great day.